Hey Eurovision fans, it's Tom coming to you from Dublin. I'm back for another Eurovision analysis video. There's less than 2 weeks to go until the start of the competition. I already discussed who I think could win Eurovision. Today I'm going to focus on some of the dark horses, those people who are a little bit lower down on the radar, a little bit farther away in the odds, and see which one of them could possibly come and take the title in Liverpool. So let's kiki. I did that whole intro in one take. That was good, no editing, wow. Okay, so as I already mentioned, I already covered some of the potential winners. I basically just picked the top 3 in the odds. Today I'm going to be going to some of the people who are a little bit more outsiders. Now, the common phrase that people use in the community is dark horse. So the literal definition of a dark horse is someone or something that nobody knows anything about and they just kind of appear out of nowhere and win. Realistically, there's no one like that in Eurovision. We know everything about these people. We know their shoe size. We know their favorite liqueur. We know where they were born and what hospital and all that. There's no one who's like a complete unknown entity. So really the more accurate phrase would be outsiders. These are people who are like outside of the top parts of the odds coming through and winning. But dark horse is the familiar phrase in the community, so that's what I'm using. I'm specifying that because some people seem to get really offended if I call some of the countries I'm about to talk about, they get upset if I call it a dark horse. So I'm going to be going through 5 of these dark horses today and talking about why I think they could potentially win, but then also what is their main barrier? Why are they not considered a bigger favorite? What is the obstacle that will block them from potentially winning? Now, first of all, I still do think that the favorite to win the jury is Loreen from Sweden, and I still think that the favorite to win the televote is Garia from Finland. With all of these dark horses, the scenario I envision them winning with is they win neither the televote nor the jury, but still win. That is possible. It happened in 2016 with Jamala. She came second in televote and second in the jury. And it also happened with Duncan Lawrence. He came third in the jury and second in the televote, although with the jury he wasn't close off being first. So yeah, it is possible to win neither and still win Eurovision. That's happened 2 of the 6 times since we have the split results, the televote and the jury being announced separately since 2016. So realistically, that's the main way I see these 5 dark horses going in, unless somehow they elevate the absolute crap. But we'll go into more detail about that now in a second. So let's talk about the first dark horse, and that is someone who is actually riding a dark horse recently while she was filming her postcard, and that is Lazara from France. So first of all, let's talk about some of the strengths of this. This is definitely going to do very, very well with the jury. So right now we have the Euro jury happening. I just did a video about the current results so far, and France are sitting in second place. So for me, the real key thing there is that they've received votes from 25 different countries. The only person who's received votes from more is Sweden, who's received it from 26. So this kind of shows off the solidity of the song, the very broad appeal that so many different people from so many different countries, music professionals, have all put this in their top 10 so consistently. If you look at the jury criteria about vocal capacity, her vocals are incredible. Some people were a little bit short after the pre-parties, but her Channel 5 performance, which I really encourage you to watch, is absolutely incredible. And that's a very simple performance. She's in a very small space with kind of one very simple camera angle on her, and the performance is still amazing. If you keep in mind, with Eurovision we'll have slow pans and side plans and all kind of like very, very gorgeous lighting and camera angles, so it'll be elevated even further. Even with the simple setup in the Channel 5 studio, it still looked exceptional. Vocally though, this was absolutely nutty sublime. The pre-party acoustics are not great, but when she's in the correct environment, she sounds absolutely amazing. This is gonna get vocal points from absolutely everybody. So yeah, like jury-wise, this is one of the songs that could potentially rival Loreen at the top. I still think Loreen's performance is more dramatic and gorgeous and stunning. Not to say that France can't supersede that with a different type of chic, elegant, stylistic performance. We know that big flashy things do tend to be quite appealing, and so I still think Loreen's favorite to win, but I think Lazara is definitely contended to come second in that jury, and then it's just a case of she needs to beat Loreen in the televote and then have enough of a buffer over Garia. So it is possible for her to win. Yeah, and people are starting to recognize that now, that this was as low as 50-1 on April 2nd, just over 3 weeks ago. And now we're down to 12-1. and rehearsals haven't even started. So this is definitely one can jump up. The reason I think it was 50-1 is that I think people were presuming this wouldn't do as well with the televote, me included. But it's done so well with OGAE, which is the fan club vote, which kind of has a small correlation with the televote. Obviously, the OGAE favors much more heavily pop music and female entries. It still did much better than I expected, getting points from pretty much every single country. Yeah, only Ukraine and Croatia not giving them points. I wonder, does this song possibly not translate as well in Eastern Europe? I'm not sure, we'll have to wait and see. But one of the key things when you look at a Eurovision winner is they have points from everyone. You cannot win Eurovision by block voting. You have to have points across the board. That is one of the key recipes. And this is looking like it's going to get that in both the jury and possibly the televote as well. So yeah, she's really got a great chance. France, in terms of staging, I think that they've done pretty well. Their Junior Eurovision staging has been excellent. Keep in mind they won Junior Eurovision in 2020 and 2022. They'll be hosting it Junior Eurovision next year in Nice, which I'm hoping to be at. So yeah, they're going for the double. They won Junior Eurovision last year and they're going for the Adult Eurovision this year. That would be the first time we've ever had a double. It would be kind of like a Serena slam if you know tennis. Serena won all 4 Grand Slams, but she didn't do it in the calendar year. She won the US Open and then she in 1 year, and then the Australian, French and Wimbledon in another year. So she had to come up as a Serena Slam name, a Eurovision version of the Serena Slam. But yeah, their staging in Junior Eurovision has been great. I thought that Baba Pravi in 2021 was absolutely spectacular staging. Of course, she ended up coming second. She was only 25 points away from winning. So yeah, the French delegation have shown that they know what to do, and especially with this song, which is kind of a similar feel to Baba Pravi's song. So I'm expecting them to bring out something really beautiful, chic, elegant. These words I've used before, which I really associate with French. It feels very cultural as well. So what's missing? Why is this not the top favorite? I do think the song is a little bit on the safe side. That same safeness and accessibility, which gives it a really broad appeal, this light, fun feel. I think that's one of the things working against it. It doesn't have a big, risky, daring moment. The song is a fusion of disco and chanson, which is very unusual. That is a small, risky element. And actually, I think that will favor them in the originality part of the jury criteria. But yeah, it doesn't have like a big, crazy X Factor wow moment. And I think she's the biggest X Factor. This kind of like sexy, sultry, her like shoulderography, which we're all kind of a little bit obsessed about. So maybe they just need to bring something a little bit edgy, bring like really high quality, delicious visuals or something really artistic to give it that extra. Baba Pravi did that in 2021. I think she ended up coming third with the televote. So she managed to make that song, what looked like a very safe jury song, into a televote appeal as well. So they need to get that same formula again this year. If I had to bet on someone outside the top 3 to win right now, I'd absolutely pick France. With the information we have, it looks like the most solid bet. Okay, so now let's go to another lady who's also doing very well in the odds and is another outsider, and that is Blanca Paloma. Now, Lord have mercy on my soul, because talking about Spain is very difficult. There are plenty of normal Spanish fans, but there is also a minority of Spanish fans who are absolutely and utterly unhinged, and even just calling her a dark horse is incredibly offensive. For me, she is still a dark horse, and I'm going to go through why that is. She's sitting at 5th in the odds. She's currently 15-1. That is a pretty outsider. 15-1 are quite long odds for competition. Now, the jury aspect of this, for me, I feel like this is going to do pretty well. Again, vocally, she's incredibly strong. It's got that originality in terms of artistry, this beautiful storytelling, very expensive professional looking images, this moving through different tableaus. The performance has a real dynamism to it. So I think definitely this is going to appeal to a jury. And we saw the jury in Benidorm Fest ranked this extremely high. I think all but one person put it as their favorite song. Definitely this should get a lot of respect from the jury. At this point in time, I imagine I could see this top 5, maybe 3rd in the jury. So yeah, the jury aspect of it is not a concern for me. The concern for me with this is the televote. I'm just not seeing this kind of gushing love that you kind of want to see from someone who's going to do very well with the televote. I'm going to give 2 examples now in how I think Blanca Paloma's song Ella could go. First of those is Baba Pravi again. Sorry, Barbara, I'm picking on you today. Blanca has a lot in common with Barbara. She's written the song herself. She's got this incredible intensity and an amazing performance style, really professional, elegant, just quality of singing and quality of acting. There's an acting, passion, emotional element that she brings to the performance. And then we also saw in Benidorm Fest that there's a story to the song, which I also felt that Voila had as well. We were moving around, something was happening, just very engaging. So that's definitely something that I think Blanca has. And that's one of the reasons I think, oh wow, this could do well with the televote. On the flip side, I'm going to use another comparison, which I know people hate when I make this comparison, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway because I think it's a valid one. And that is comparing this to Foulaine, which happened last year. Another French entry. Similarities with Foulaine are this is quite an esoteric song. It's a flamenco lullaby. Foulaine was obviously different. It was like a Breton ethno folk song, obviously different, but they're both quite niche musical genres. It's not exactly like you hear flamenco lullabies every day in the top 10 of the mainstream music. This is quite niche, rare sounding music, which for some people sounds quite foreign. I remember there was a viral clip of this being reviewed on Greek morning TV and they absolutely and utterly hated it. This came last with Tom Scott and his friends. Again, these are small sample sizes of people. That Greek TV show was like 4 people. Tom Scott and his friends is 3 people. But these are all lots of people putting this last. So it definitely has that effect that it's some people absolutely and utterly love it. And some people like really seem to dislike it a lot. They just don't get it. It reminds me a little bit of Tulia, also from Poland, who had that white singing. And I remember the first time I heard that, it was just it was so shocking. I never heard it before that. It was just a little bit off-putting. It just took me a while to kind of appreciate that style of music, and I really enjoy that now. You know, Goe did a little bit of that, and I thought it's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, that first time, just that novelty of something I hadn't experienced before, kind of distracted. I wasn't able to focus as much on the song because I was focusing on what's happening with the style of vocals. For me, if this song was played twice, so if it was a qualifying song and people saw it and then had that kind of like shocked reaction the first time, but then had a time to process it and go into the final, that I think would help the song a lot. It seems like a song that benefits from a second listen, time to absorb and process what you just heard. Now, I go back to my initial reaction when I did my audio reviews of Benidorm Fest way back for the show, and I thought the song was pretty and had some interesting things. I didn't think it was particularly wow. Then with Benidorm Fest, when I saw the first live performance, it blew me away. Absolutely went straight up to my number 1 for Benidorm Fest, and I was totally obsessed with it winning. I thought that she brought passion. I thought it was stirring, gorgeous to look at, had a huge cultural depth to it, and I absolutely and utterly adored it. So yeah, I feel like this is something that I would potentially televote for, because I really love countries bring a bit of their culture and showing off who they are as a people. I find that really interesting in Eurovision. It's one of the things I really particularly enjoy. So I don't know how this is going to go. Is this going to go down the route of Barbara Pravi, where people really connect with her as a singer and feel her story and her emotions and her passion, and she does really well in the televote and comes 3rd like Barbara did, and then maybe 2nd in the jury, and that's enough for her to win, in a similar way to Duncan Lawrence, who came 2nd and 3rd in the other way around? Or is this going to be the type of song people like Foulaine, people going, I have no idea what's happening? I will say about Foulaine is that I didn't think the staging was a disaster, but it was quite static. They kind of showed us everything that was on the stage and not really anything happened. There wasn't like a storyline going on. There was more like a movement. It felt like a druidic chant. Blanca has definitely brought a narrative to her performance. She starts in the middle. There's the bit when the moon's shining down on her. We've got the ladies doing the rowing. There's lots of like stuff that feels like it's a fairy tale or a fable that's being told in a way that Foulaine doesn't. I just don't know how it's going to go. If you tell me this gets 250 televote points, I'll believe you. If you tell me it gets 20 televote points, I'll believe you. I don't think it'll be this. It'll probably be somewhere in the middle. It's just such an unknown. If you tell me roll the dice, are you going to get a 6 or not? I don't know. I might get a 6. I might get a 5. I find it so hard to predict how lots of people around Europe from lots of different age groups and cultures are going to react to something that's such an unknown quantity, because I don't think we've had a flamenco lullaby before. It could come down to who's watching the show. In any case, no matter what happens, I hope that this minority of the Spanish fans can enjoy it. Last year it felt like Chanel coming 3rd was kind of tainted a little bit by all this bitterness afterwards. Like, you came 3rd in Eurovision. This is amazing. Like, that's incredible after having so many bottom 5 finishes in a row. And I felt like that happiness was kind of wasted. Whoa, this is intense. Let's go to another lady, and she's a queen of kings, and that is Alessandra from Norway. Now, this is the one that I had the hardest time envisioning winning, but She's very high up in the odds. A lot of people really like this. So yeah, it is a contender. Now I know that she did really, really well on streaming initially. She was in the viral Hot 50 Spotify. I believe that she went very viral in America, particularly in gay clubs. Her song was being played a lot in clubs over there. I think the song is super, super solid, quite similar to France in that it's a really solid jury song, a really solid televote song, but it's just having that like extra something that like makes it a little bit new or different. I don't really feel that. I know it's got that sea shanty Nordic pop feel, which I really, really love about it, but I don't feel like it has that like real extra something, for example, the same way that Spirit in the Sky did with the yoiking, that like really elevated up into the top. But I've been surprised by how well this has been doing in Eurojury. It's currently 4th with votes from 20 countries. It's doing very well with that. It's doing very well with OGE, but again, this is the type of song that OGE is gonna gravitate more to. But yeah, I'm very, very happy if this wins. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I do feel like it needs to have some sort of like extra staging elevation. We've seen recently with Norway that they are using their staging for Melody Grand Prix. There's not too many changes. Subwoofer's staging was pretty much identical. Tick's staging was identical as well. I don't think Ulrika's staging would have been different with Attention. 2019, I think they did actually elevate that a little bit. I think they changed their costumes and upgraded it. So yeah, I think that's what Norway need to do. Again, they do actually have a decent chance, but I think this needs to have like a real something wow added into it. And vocally, she needs to be better than she was in the pre-parties. But again, I think she was kind of saving her voice. And if she can sing this like she did in Melody Grand Prix, there's no reason why she wouldn't be able to. I think this could actually do well. So look, it's the one I struggle to see happening the most, but absolutely would love. I've never actually been to Norway. Norway is one of the few countries in Europe I haven't been to, so I would love to go to Norway. I just want her to surprise me and just take the doubt away and just come fighting. Now we've got 2 dark horses in one, and that is Taya and Selena from Austria. All ladies. This is my 4th group of ladies in a row. Ladies are really bringing it this year. Yes, you know this is one of my favorite songs this year. I love how quirky and different and unique it is. The lyrics are really clever, very interesting theme. This thing I'd never thought about how artists are kind of getting screwed over by record companies. I love that. I love that it's got that depth of meaning to it. I think this is going to do really well with the televote. I think it's super, super solid. It has that same solid thing where it's getting votes from every single person in the OJE, not so much in the Eurojury. In the Eurojury, it's only gotten votes from 14 countries, and that's the thing that worries me. Televote, I think it's going to do great, especially if they can get the message across and they have really fun and playful visuals, which it looks like they're going to have. And then I need to see a little bit more confidence from them as well. I think they've been great in the pre-parties, but I want to see them like be absolute bosses, like command the stage, we're badass bitches, totally take control. So I want to see that like next level confidence. Maybe have like 1 or 2 shots before you go on stage. Don't get totally drunk, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm not so worried about the televote. I think this could do really well if Austria get their staging right. Marvin Dietman is doing it, who also did Conchita's staging. Generally a pretty good stager. I don't think of him as like a wow stager. I think he's like quality. He'll give you a decent package. I don't associate him with being like incredibly innovative. That's just me personally. The jury is where I struggle with this though. Yeah, the fact that it's been left out in the Eurojury so often, it's only been in the top 3 times. Again, they might be watching the music video, which I felt had amazing visuals, but I don't think it particularly explained the song that clearly. Like I know when I was watching the music video, I didn't understand the 0.003 reference, and I didn't actually understand the meaning of the song the first time I heard it. I needed to go look at the lyrics afterwards. I think like with that London pre-party performance where they had the lyrics popping on the background, I think that really, really helped to understand the song much, much quicker. So I think that's a really important way for them to tap into the jury, is say this song is fun, it's quirky, but underneath it is really serious. It's got a lot of depth, a lot of meaning. It's one of the best songs lyrically this year. It's very well constructed. It's got the beautiful gothic choral singing as well, bringing a bit of Austrian culture. It's humor, but with a great song underneath. This should get respect from the jury, but I'm a little bit worried that it will do okay. Like it'll come 9th or 10th from the jury, but it won't be up there. No one's ever won from outside the top 4 in the jury since 2016, so they need to be top 4. So that's the bit that I'm kind of worried about now, and I think they need to be really smart with their staging and graphic concept to tap into that jury. Maybe have a couple of backing up singers for the gothic part just to make it sound even better, so they can get the vocal points for that as well. Originally Originality, this definitely is 10 out of 10. I would love this one, absolutely. I think this would be such a fantastic representative for where the competition is going. Just innovation and riskiness and being bold and daring. I would absolutely love it, and I love the girls. So 100% plan this, but I think that the jury is the biggest obstacle to them being able to do that. Okay, and let's go to the last dark horse, who's currently 8th in the odds. She is sitting at 30 to 1. And that is Noah Carell. Noah Carell, I'm putting this in purely off the basis that this has so much secret information that we don't know yet. We know that Noah is incredible vocally. She's an amazing dancer. She's just got that X factor. She's a big superstar. She's won MTV Music Awards for the Israel category, I think 5 years in a row or something. So she's really incredible, and she's got $1 million behind her. And that's pretty useful. By the way, I should have mentioned earlier, Blanca Paloma has 800,000 euro behind her as well. Money does help. Yeah, she's got a lot of money. She's got a big record company that is going to make sure that this doesn't fail. And they've been keeping a lot of things under wraps and secrets. She hasn't done any pre-party performances. She hasn't given any kind of like tricks or clues about what's going on. So this can have so much momentum coming into the competition, because there's going to be so much hype and news about it. People covering, whoa, this big new thing that just happened. Whereas people like Czechia, who've been released so long ago, you imagine if that Czechia music video was released now, how everyone would absolutely freak out about it. Be like, oh my God, this is incredible. Whereas we did freak out to it, but it was in January. So that freaking out energy has kind of waned a little bit. Whereas Israel can come into the competition with this huge momentum. It's been doing okay in Eurojury. It's got votes from 14 countries, which is the same as Austria. It's less than Norway and France and Sweden. So she's doing pretty well with the jury. I think televote wise, she should do really, really well, especially if she is the Chanel of this year, bringing incredible breakdown. Like song wise, I think this song is maybe a little bit weaker than Slow Mo. I actually really like the Eurovision edition of Slow Mo. That's actually a really great song for me. I know that she's making some small edits to this. I think there's a little bit more extra instrumentation, but yeah, I'm expecting this to be absolutely like show-stopping, really high budget, high professional level quality of performance. And I think that's when she's going to start rising up. And if that gets a lot of buzz and momentum, probably need Sweden staging to not look as good, Kaya to bomb with the jury. I think that's kind of similar with all of these 5 ladies that I've spoken about, is that if there is that small opportunity that Lorraine doesn't do as well with the televote, remember Sweden have struggled with them in the last 5 years, or Gary doesn't do well with the jury, which is looking kind of likely at this point that he might be outside the top 5. Can he be the first person to win Eurovision being outside of the top 4 of the jury? It's possible, but I definitely think there's a chance for one of these other 5 ladies to swoop in. So yeah, Noah could be the one of the 5. I would say she's the least likely, even less than Norway. The biggest advantage she has is all her cards are hidden. Nobody knows what she's bringing. They can guess what card she has based off of her saying, you want to see me dance? She's probably going to dance. But yeah, in terms of what the actual final product looks like, she's got the most mystery in her cards. Sorry that there's no like really outlandish and weird that I'm saying there. Like, I'm not going to say something like, I think that Azerbaijan is a dark horse to win Eurovision. That's not going to happen. But I did think it would be fun if I also went through some of the lower ranked songs and said, who do I think could potentially do quite well, maybe get into the top 10 or something like that. So I'm going to go through first 11th to 20th. I'm going to pick one country who I think potentially could surprise, and I've decided to pick Germany. who are currently in 19th. I think that Germany could do pretty well here. I think this will have a bit of a televote appeal. The thing is, anyone who likes glam rock whatsoever, they pretty much only have Germany to vote for. You know, Australia's there as well, but it's slightly different style of rock. So I just think that they could mop up those votes and actually do pretty okay in the televote. And then jury-wise, I'll be really disappointed if this doesn't do well with the jury, because it's a really great song. They're a fantastic band. Vocally, his vocal style of singing is very, very difficult to do, and he does it extremely well. So if this does well with the jury, I think that's a problem with the jury that needs to be investigated, because there is no reason why this shouldn't be doing decent. Like, I'm not saying it needs to win the jury, but it should not be bottom 5 with the jury, in my opinion. But yeah, they're my people who I think might do a little bit of a nice surprise when we come by Eurovision. To be honest, that 11 to 20, there's actually quite a few songs that could surprise. Croatia, I think a lot of people are assuming do well with the televote. I still can't see this doing well with the jury. I think it'll just bomb. Switzerland, it's the televote appeal that I find difficult to see. And then Czechia is just such an unknown quantity. They're 11th 7th in the odds now. It's just about what they bring. Iro Georgia was initially one of my dark horses, but just this like quite constant response of people not resonating with it, and the lyrics seem to be the downfall people. Okay, now I'm going to pick someone between 21st and 30th, and I think I'm going to go for Portugal in 24th. Yeah, she seems like she's got that X factor that if this just happens to resonate correctly with people, she could do really, really well. You know, maybe sneak into the top 10. I actually wonder how Portugal were doing last year in the odds. I'm just going to check how Maro was doing last year at this point in the season. Oh, she was 12th. Okay, so Maro wasn't really a big outsider. But yeah, she ended up coming top 10. So yeah, I would love Mimi Cat to have that fight. I'm very impressed with her as a performer, and I've seen interviews with her. She's a very lovely person. And just, yeah, her professionalism and her singing and performance ability has just been really outstanding for me. So I would love that to happen. I think the juries will respect her. It's just about getting through that semi-final of death. Okay, and now I'm going to pick someone between 30th and 37th. Who am I going to pick here? Oh God, I think the safest one is Belgium, 31st. He's doing very, very well with both the Eurojury and OJE. And now OJE will probably expect that, definitely in terms of demographics. He is pretty much the OJE demographic. In terms of the Eurojury, there's absolutely no reason why he should be doing that well with them, and he's doing really well. He's got votes from 14 countries, and he's currently sitting in 8th with the Eurojury. And where is he, the OJE? And OJE, he's 13th. So yeah, he's doing really, really, really well. This has got that like feel goodness. And in fact, I was actually looking through this year, there's not that many like super bubbly, upbeat, carefree, switch your brain off, happy songs. You know, we've got UK, but she's really, really late in the running order. Like kind of more, I'm talking about like more poppy ones. Austria does actually fit that as well. Israel, this is where Portugal can really shine because she's got that as well, but she's also got an elegance to it. He's the only happy poppy boy, because obviously Gary is metal rock rap. So yeah, well, Malta are happy boys as well, but are they going to qualify? That's the problem. So if Malta don't qualify and then Belgium goes into the final, the only happy pop boy maybe he could do very well. Have to admit now, if Belgium gets drawn first half, I'm very sure that they're going to open the show because it is a perfect opener to Eurovision. Now, they did open in 2016 with Laura Tesoro, so are they going to get that again? I'm not sure. Israel would also be a good opener, but again, Imri opened in 2017, so has enough time passed that they can open again? I don't know. Anyway, that's for a different conversation. Those are my main dark horses. Let me know who you think is a dark horse. Actually, do you have anyone who's outside of the top 8? Are you braver than I am? I was thinking about putting Italy in as well, but I also just wanted to limit the video. But yeah, if I had to put it in, but again, Italy's 9th. So then it just gets to the point that I'm just slowly going down everyone in the odds in order. Like of all those dark horses for me, France has the clearest path. I can actually see how does this happen that she wins. Obviously, rehearsals can change everything, and I hope it does. I love having someone come from 30th in the odds to totally and utterly surprised. It's always a fantastic Cinderella story, so I'm very much looking forward to that happening. I hope it does happen this year. Let me know who your weird and wonderful dark horses are, or outsiders, or whatever the hell you want to call them. Leave them in the comment section down below. If you want to watch more analysis videos like this, I'll leave some of them here so you can have a perusal. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thanks so much for watching. I'm seeing the Eurovision analysis video very soon. Goodbye. Blah, 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 blah.